We're 12 lines from the bottom. Daf Ches Amud Aleph. Rabbi Meir Oimer, Maseches Gittin. Rabbi Meir Oimer, Ake Keretz Yisrael b'chulu. Rabbi Meir holds that Ake is like Eretz Yisrael. When it comes to having to say B'panai Nichtov B'panai Nechtam, you don't have to say it that it was written or signed in front of me if you're from Eretz Yisrael. So Rabbi Yehuda said, Ake Letzofen V'Ake Ketzofen, from Ake to the north, and Ake is like the north. Rabbi Meir says Ake is like Eretz Yisrael for Gittin. They asked the question from Chia Bar Abba. The halacha is you're not allowed to sell your servant to chutzaretz. And if you sell your servant to chutzaretz, they automatically go free. It's a knas, because there's more mitzvahs in Eretz Yisrael. And it's forbidden for the slave to go, just like you're forbidden to go from Eretz Yisrael to Chutzaretz, it's also forbidden to the slave to go from Eretz Yisrael to Chutzaretz. So if you do that, if you sell him to Chutzaretz, you're taking away, you're making him transgress, you have to free him. So the question is, what if you sell him to Syria? Is it considered like selling him in Chutzaretz or not?
Well, Syria is quite a distance from Akko.
Oh. You're saying, why is it connected to Akko?
Yes.
We're talking to the north. We're talking about to the north of Eretz Yisrael. It's true. It's not directly connected to the idea of Akko, but they put it under that heading.
Yes.
Syria, in some aspects, it's considered like Eretz Yisrael, and in others, it isn't. We're going to see that soon, because it was conquered by David HaMelech, and it was conquered by him before he conquered everything else. So it's considered like it was a tsar koi for his personal needs. It's called Kibush Yochid. There's an individual who had conquered it, and we have a few places in Shas. Here's one of them where we talk about this concept. So the question is Syria like Eretz Yisrael or not? Or is it considered like who? I'm sorry. I told you the reason why I put it under here is because it's a header. No, it's directly connected. The Gemara tells us. It's an Isua, we taught in the Mishna. Rabbi Meir Oimer, Ake Keretz Yisrael Gittin. Ake is like Eretz Yisrael for Gittin. The Gittin in Lavadim light, only for Gittin, but not for Avadim. Even Ake is only like Eretz Yisrael for Gittin, but not for Avadim. Because in Ake, they're Bekiim Lishma. They know it has to be for the woman's name. They're also Zaydim Mitzuyim L'Kaima. There's witnesses. For Lavadim light, Choshkin Syria, the Merach Katuba, I'm sure Syria. That's further. Syria is for sure considered like Chul for Avadim. So that's a connection to Rabbi Meir. Tanra Avadim, it was taught. In 3 ways, Syria is considered like Eretz Yisrael. In 3 ways, it's considered like Chutzar. It's Siman Av Bar Rak. So we'll see that it's Manitz. It's Rosh Tevis for different words that we're going to have. The ayin, for example, is Afara Tomei, Ger Chutzaretz. The earth of Syria is Tamei. There's a Gzera. Chum wanted people to live in Eretz Yisrael. They were geyser that Afar Chutzaretz is Tamei. Not only that, people aren't careful when they do burials. Could be that's the main reason. So therefore, they were geyser that the gush of Chutzaretz is Tamei. So too when it comes to Syria, the gush, the offer of Chutzaretz is Tamei. Causes tuma, impurity, you have tuma shiva. Somebody who sells his slave to Syria, it's like you're selling him in Chutzaretz. Maybe get me Syria can make Chutzaretz. If you bring a get from Syria, it's as if you bring it from Chutzaretz. So the shliach is going to have to say, it's not common for people to travel back and forth. Interesting. In 3 ways it's comparable to Eretz Yisrael. You're going to be chayav meiser and shvis. So I read to the somebody who wants to enter Syria Bitaro, it's possible. But koine sode b'Syria koine befar Yerushalmi, as if you're being koine in the suburbs of Yerushalayim. Chayav is meiser b'shvis. The reason why we say you're chayav meiser b'shvis if you're koine. If you have plants, if you have crops in Syria, it's because kibush yochid shmei kibush. Even though David conquered it for his own purposes, it's still considered a kibush. It's still considered like Eretz Yisrael. So you're chayiv, you're obligated in meiser and shvis, all the ties until leave it fallow for the 7th year. You want to go into Syria, B'tara, it's possible. Did we say that the Afar Chutzaretz is Tameh? So the Gemara answers, if you own a box that's suspended in the air, somebody's carrying you in a box, then you're okay. Tanya, it says in the Brisa,
But wouldn't that be the same in any country? If it's spent in a box, it's okay. There's nothing special about that.
like a plane, saying you're flying over, whatever.
No. Is it different than in any other country?
Well, very good. So that's the Brisa we're going to bring. The Tanya, it says in the Brisa, if you go in a box, different types of boxes into Chutz La'aretz, Rebbe says you're Tameh. Rebbe Yitzchak says you're Torah. So the reason why Rebbe says you're Tameh is because he doesn't hold that it's a Chatzitz, because it's floating in the air. A box that's oil zodik loishmei. When it comes to Chul, they were geyser afal avir, even on the airspace. Later on, I think it was 2 stages. They were geyser even on the airspace. When it comes to, they really didn't want you to go. The gozru al gusha v'alavir. Sorry, v'afilu Rebbe like mitamim beretzamim. The gozru gusha v'avir. Even Rebbe was only mitamim beretzamim that they were geyser on the gush and the avir. Avol Surya, when it comes to Syria, gusha gozru alavir legazir. They were only geyser on the gush, on the earth, but not on avir. So that's that. Rabbi Yisrael holds even in Chutz La'aretz it's possible to have oil zarek shmei oil. Rabbi says oil zarek lo shmei oil. That's only in Eretz Yisrael. That's only Chutz La'aretz, a regular Chutz La'aretz. When it comes to Syria, where there's no gzeda against the airspace, so of course, if you're going to Shita Teva Migdal, you're good to go. Gemara goes on. What about what's the halacha? And what do we say? What way do we say that if you buy a field in Syria, it's as if you're buying it in Yerushalmi? Gemara answers, to tell you, you write the shtar mecher, you write the document of sale, the bill of sale, even on Shabbos. Shabbos, you're writing on Shabbos. How could you write on Shabbos? Rava says, you tell a guy to do it for you. So to here, you tell a guy. You're allowed to tell a guy to buy it for you.
So the guy to write it.
Why can't it wait till Sunday?
Oh, very good. Even though telling a non-Jew is a shvus, you're not allowed to. It's rabbinically prohibited. When it comes to Yishuv Haaretz, you're afraid that he'll change his mind after Shabbos. Rashi says the God said to come late should be so, so loy goes around. There's no gzeda. Yeah.
It's because it's due to the mitzvah of settling Eretz Yisrael, right?
Yeah, settling Eretz Yisrael so strong that it's special. Taisha says, and nothing else. Only Yishuv Eretz Yisrael is doiche. Is doiche this thing. Now you have also by Milo. I think that's a Gemara in Shabbos. 1 second, let me bring it just to double check. Double check. Kuf Chof test. The wrong daf. Oh. Ravula Breda Velo, he said, Kol Tzarche Choyle Nasan Lidaramai B'Shabbos. Dover Shem Beisakone B'Lenoch Revaisi. You tell a guy to do, if you're a Choyle who doesn't have Sakana, you can tell the Andrew to do whatever, he never needs to be done for you. It's Ein Beisakone. So to here, because of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, you're allowed to do a middle akum, to tell him to write the bill of sale for you. Torah Rabbanan, we're by the 2 dots now on Daf Ches Halacha Beis. Ever Jevi Gitoi, because of by Atzmach and Chosek, because of by Atzmach and Chosek Knoiloch, Atzmekon and Chosim Laikon. An Eved who brought his get, and it says in the get, yourself and all my possessions are acquired for you. He acquires himself, but not the Nechosim. Because when it comes to a get, we believe him, as long as he says b'fana nichta, b'fana nefta. He's believed, just like a woman, we'll see in the next Mishnah. However, when it comes to a regular star, he doesn't have the koyach to just take everything. We don't believe him, so we only believe him for half the star. Ba'ilahu, they had this is clear. Everybody agrees with this din. The question is, what if he said, all my possessions are acquired to you? What's the din in such a case? Abaye says, because he acquires himself, he also acquires the possessions. Because it says, it doesn't differentiate. All it says is kol nechasei knuyim lach. So there's no way to split it down the middle. If you're going to believe him for himself, it's like a migui. Because we believe him for himself, we're also going to believe him for the nefas.
This is a Kanani that was freed. He got a get of.
Yeah, we have a Kanani that has a get.
Okay.
And it says in the Shtar Shifr, kol nechasei knuyim lach.
And why would he get the get of Shichur? Is that because the master, out of the kindness of his heart, decided
You're really not supposed to free Nebuchadnezzar, but for whatever reason he freed him. But he said the words kol nechasei knuyim lach. So Abaye says, you believe him that he's free, you also have to give him all his possessions.
Who's that? The slave gives all or the master?
We give him all the master's possessions. Now, obviously, we're talking about he has to say l'chayda b'fana nefta. So we believe him for the get, we believe him for everything. Just trying to see. All right. Anyway, Gemara goes on, and Amarle Rava tells Abaye, no, disagree. Makes sense that he'll be kind to himself, just like we see by Getisha. If you say you're kind to yourself, you acquire yourself. But when it comes to possessions, not. But just like any other star, you can't just come with a star that's not makuyim. You have to establish the validity of the star. If he wants to be able to take his master's possessions, he has to establish the validity of the star. It's not enough for him to say then Abaye changed his mind. He said the opposite. No, on the contrary, he's not going because he's not going to the Nechosim, he's not going to himself. Abaye really holds leipal gin and dibura. We can't split his words down the middle. So he's not going to the Nechosim. He also is not going to himself until he establishes that the star is a legal document. He cannot go free. Rava again told him, it makes sense in the possessions he's not going to, because just like we see Kim Shadas Dalma. Himself, he should be kind of just like we see by Getisha. Rava says, Allah is like Rava, both in the first case where everybody agrees. The Mamash says, you and my possessions. He's only kind to himself. And even if he says, all my possessions are acquired to you, even there, he's only kind to himself and not the Nechos. Rav analyzed this psak of Rova, and he said, "Keman Reb Shimon." It must be that you hold like Reb Shimon. Damar plugin and dibura. who says Palgina Dibura. He could split the documents, the wording of the document, you could split it into two. It's not we have a machlokes in the Mishnah, 2 lines in the bottom of Halacha Beis. Somebody who writes all of his possessions to his servant, Yotza ben Chaydim, then he goes free. So here we're not talking about that there's a question about the validity of the star. This is a different case. Here, you know for a fact the star is a good star. He wrote all of his nechasim lavdei. In other words, he wrote kol nechasei knuyim loch, exactly the wording that we had before. So then he goes free. For sure he goes free. And no one argues with that because here the star is valid. Shir karka kolshu lo yotza ben chayde. But if he left over some karka, now it says that he left over karka, he left over property, land. That's obviously not the eved. It's not talking about the eved. Nevertheless, because he was mishayir karka, lo yotza ben chayde. Melo if he said kol nechasei knoi loch. Fine, but here he was mishar something, he left over something. It's the idea of nochis l'shiyura. So we'll say, really, when he was mishar karka, he was also being mishar this eved, and he really didn't want the eved to go free. Why did he write this whole document? Lachnufe, to flatter him. Now, why would we go to such a far stretch? It sounds stretched. Because ultimately, we're talking about making somebody lose all of his possessions. So if there's a way that we could say that he's not giving everything up, we'll say it. And if he really wants a free slave, write a new document. You know what I mean? Because he was Mishar Karka, Rabbi Shimon says, because he left out property, he obviously is not leaving out his servant. And his servant gets himself and he gets everything. He's going to be free. He didn't mention that he's freeing, that he's leaving out the servant. Sorry. He said he's freeing everything. He's giving him everything besides her karka. But if he says, doesn't mention karka, but he says, 1 in 10,000 of my property, then we could assume that he's talking about the evidence. Because then he didn't mention karka. From the fact that the Reb Shimon says, Rashi analyzes and he explains what the raya is. From the fact that Reb Shimon says, Li oilam hu ben chayrin, even though the case of our Mishnah is that we're talking about a valid star, a valid document, that there's no question about the validity about everything. Nevertheless, maybe li oilam is including even in a case where he's not koina the shar nechasim. Not because of what I said that it might not be legal, but for example, Rashi explains, let's say he leaves out a base kur, a certain amount of land, you don't know which part of the land. So then you have to leave out all the land. In such a case, he's still going to be free, even though you can't give him any karka. Algina dibura. Tosfos doesn't like that pshat. Okay, he says you could be talking about even if the Edlin only had one field and he just said base kur and you have to give him the field. You give the doesn't get anything. Still pagina dibura. So now the Gemara asks, this is the Chayra of Adam Bar Master's question. Didn't Rav Yosef Bar Minyomi Omer Rav Nachman say that Rav Vishakidosh Rav Yosef is Rav Shimon Halacha Rav Meir? Even though Rav Yosef praised Rav Shimon's opinion, Halacha is Rav Meir Tanya. When they said over this machlekes between of Rav Shimon and the Tanakama, which is Rav Meir, even though it doesn't mention a name, Stam Mishna is Rav Meir. So even though when they said the words in front of Rav Yosef, he mentioned this in pasuk. Someone who says clear words. Rashi says royal linoshik. He's fitting to be kissed. Tosfos says anyone standing around him closes their mouth. Their lips touch. Your lips touch each other because you don't have anything to say. Nevertheless, the halacha is still a good mirror. The Gemara then asks, you're going to tell me the halacha is like, so the Gemara says like this, Umi Omer Rav Nachman Hochi. Did Rav Nachman say such a thing, that the halacha is like Rav Meir? Rav Yisrael bar Minyaim, Rav Nachman, Rav Yisrael bar Minyaim, he said in the name of Rav Nachman, Shchiv Mirah shekotzav kol nechosav le'avdei. You have a Shchiv Mirah that wrote all of his possessions over to his servant. The Omat, and then he got better. A Shchiv Mirah, somebody's on his deathbed. So the din is, Matna Shchiv Mirah is a matana. But if he gets better, he gets it all back. Somebody's on his deathbed and he gives a gift. Of course, if he dies, the gifts are gifts, but not if he gets better. So what if he wrote all of his possessions to his servant? He was on his deathbed and then he got better. Chayzer v'nechosim. Chayzer v'nechosim. He gets all his possessions back. He doesn't get his servant back. Chayzer v'nechosim matna shchiv mirah. Gets back his possessions because it's matna shchiv mirah and he got better. But it doesn't go back when it comes to the servant because he already had the name that he is a free person. So we see Palgin and Dibure, we split his words. Even though he gave all of his Nechosim Abdi, it's in one sentence. We split it and we say the servant goes free, but not the Nechosim. So we see clearly that the halacha is Palgin and Dibure. So rather, on the contrary, it's not a question on Rava. This that Rava said Palgin and Dibure, it's not because he holds a Rav Shimon. Not even Rav Nachman says in the case of Shchiv Mirah that if he said Kol Nechasek Nilach to his Eved, it's Konei because he the servant goes free. And his possessions go back to him when he gets better. So Palgin and Dibure, we do say Palgin and Dibure. So why did Rav Nachman say that halacha is like a mirror of Rav Shimon? The halacha is Palgin and Dibure. It's not because of Palgin and Dibure. The reason is because it's not krus gitahu. It has to be a clear separation. By a woman, it says Sefer Krisus. By Shechur Avodim, we learn the same din as Anisha, we have a Gzer Shava. The Chosav law, Sefer Krisus, Hu Posha Leinitan law. So you also need Krisus, also there has to be a clear separation. Because you could say that it's possible that he when he's Mashayr Karka, he's also Mashayr David. This that he didn't mention it. The fact is he didn't say Atzmoch Knoi Loch, he just said Nechotzik Knoi Loch. So it's not a Krisus Gomer. So because not a Krisus Gomer, then their halacha is going to be like Rav Meir. For not because of Palgin and Dibure or not, it has nothing to do with it splitting his sentence. But in the case of Shir, but in the case where there's no Shir, where Shchiv Mirah said Kol Nechasek Knoi Loch, and then he got better, so then Palgin and Dibure. So this is a raya for Rava. Adarab, it's a raya for Rava. Palgin and Dibure that we can split the person's words, and even if he's not believed for the star, we'll believe him for himself. We're up to Daf Tes Amud Aleph by the Mishna in the middle of the page. We'll stop here for today and we'll go to the Yerushalmi.
This is the second Mishnah, right?
No, but I think you stopped before the Mishnah. You stopped a few lines before the Mishnah.
Yes. Oops. Little gap, maybe 1-2 lines.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Make a lot or a read. I don't think you said that.
The word says if there's Eiderdin, the Mishnah said if there's Eiderdin, so those who try to question the validity of the star, you should be Mekayim at B'chaismov with the signature. So I'll just pull up the lashon of the Mishnah. Here it is. Maybe get Eretz Yisrael. If you bring a get Eretz Yisrael, you don't have to say it. So what do you do if Yesh elevated it? You have Kim, you have Adam, it's in the time. The Gemara says either come. How many people are Ma'arer? If you're going to say it's only one person who's Ma'arer, Didn't Rabbi Yochanan say? Didn't Rabbi Yochanan say it's not considered error? You can't just question. One person cannot be ma'ara in a document. Today, you're going to tell me it's two today or today, Nina. So you have two against two. Two people say it's not a valid shtar, and two people say it is a valid shtar. So why do you believe the two of them over the other two? My chos is somach tahani smeichani. Le'ir the baal. The baal is ma'ara. Stam, a person is not able to be ma'ara, but if the husband is ma'ara, then you could be kind of place. This is obviously talking about in Eretz Yisrael where he didn't say b'fanech b'fanech, but if he said b'fanech b'fanech, that's a different story. So he just points out, if the woman wants to use her get to take her ksuba, and the lukuchas say the get is not valid, that's also considered error. You're going to be mekayim b'chaismav. You're going to use the signatures that are on the shtar if you're in Eretz Yisrael. Okay, now we're in the Yerushalmi Daf Gimel Amud Beis.
Gimel Amud Beis?
Which parak is it? The parak Rishon?
Parak Rishon, Gimel Amud Beis. In other words, Halacha Beis. Parak Rishon, Halacha Beis, which is the second Mishnah.
Okay, Rabbi Yehuda Omer.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Mishnah says.
I got it.
You got it?
You have it?
Yes, we both have it.
Fantastic. Rabbi Yehuda says from Rekem to the east, and Rekem is like the east. Mashkan Vladorim, Mashkan Gedorim. From Ashkelon to the south, Ashkelon is like the south. Ma'akal Litzov, Ma'akal Litzofen. Rabbi Meir Omer, Aki Keretz Yisrael Gittin. Rabbi Meir says Aki is like Keretz Yisrael for Gittin. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rekem Lemizach Mechulu. Rabbi Yochanan Omer. Rabbi Yochanan said. So this is the Yerushalmi. Rabbi Yochanan over the Tzipoiraya. Rabbi Yochanan said to the people in Tzipoiraya, "Tu namrim b'shem Reb Chanina." You say in the name of Reb Chanina, "Afa mevi mi Bavli lekan ein tzarich leim b'fanech b'fanech." You say that even if you bring from Bavli to here, you don't have to say b'fanech b'fanech because Bavli is like Eretz Yisrael. We mentioned that in the Gemara in the Bavli in Daf Vav. That was the shita of on Daf Daled. Sorry, the shita of Rav that Bavli is like Eretz Yisrael begitted. Rav and Shmuel had a machlekes. I say that even if you bring from Bavel, it's necessary. The Himasnisa, it's our Mishnah. Either says from Rekem to the east, and you go further east, and you go to the north. Bubbles in the north from Akoi, it's past the north. So of course, it's also considered like Chutzarts. Even if you argue, you can say that we hold like Reb Meir. That Rekem is not counted. Even if we, just like we see that there's machlekes about Akim, maybe there's machlekes about Rekem. Fact is, Shema mi Bavel lekan. From Bavel until here, obviously you can't say. Bavel's for sure considered like the north. Bavel's far north. So this is Rabbi Yochanan's shita that in Bavel you also have to say. You also have to say b'fanech b'fanech. He arguing with the people of Tzipori. Rav Omer Asinu, we're on Daf Daled now. Rav Omer Asinu atzmeinu keretz Yisrael Gittin. Rav said, and we're like Eretz Yisrael. We in Bavel are like Eretz Yisrael. You don't have to say b'fanech b'fanech. Shmuel argues in Bavel, even from one neighborhood to another neighborhood, you're going to have to say it. Because the people who are, even though there's yeshivas, people who are busy and they're learning and they're not following about signatures. Rav wanted to be chayzer. Rav wanted to go back on his word, and he wanted to say that Bavel's not like Eretz Yisrael. He wanted to do like Shmuel.
Yeah, but I don't understand the argument. Like they're too busy, so they're too busy in their learning, so they're not interested in signatures. And in Eretz Yisrael in the yeshivas, they're not busy in learning, and so they're interested in signatures. Is that a cut down? Like I don't understand why in Bavel they're doing more learning. What does that comment mean?
Maybe in Bavel, besides the people learning, they don't travel so much. In Eretz Yisrael, they have people traveling all the time. Besides the yeshivas, because they go to the Bezdin. Maybe Bezdin is so stronger Well, for sure, when the Beis Mikdash was around, people would go, regular people would go, even non-Talmud Chacham. Even afterwards, I think they had the Beis Vat, they had the Batei Dinim, they would go. In Bavli, the main thing was the yeshivas. Because it was yeshivas, they were too busy learning, I think. Rav wanted to say Bavli is like Bavli. It's like Chutz La'aretz. He wanted to go back. So after he was machshir a lot of Gittin, kosher without Bafana Nichtav Bafana Nichtav, he wanted to then, from then on, to say that you have to start saying Bafana Nichtav Bafana Nichtav. Omer Kana told him, Rav Kana, so what about the people that already gotten married without saying it? You're going to cast a question on all these other Gittin. So he told him, you want to be poisel with the Eved? What are you saying? To Savar Kadol the Rebbe, Rav Kana holds like Rebbe, the Tony, maybe getting did the nichtav the fun of the nechtav the fun of. Somebody brings a get without it being signed or written or signed in front of him. Rebbe says it's one of the 13 things. There's different things you do wrong with Gittin. The Mishna enumerates it later on. It says one of them. Chum don't agree. Chum say no. You just you didn't say but fun you can say it again. It's interesting because you could argue, what if he didn't see it at all? What if he didn't see anything? Not sure. Here the pshat is you could just redo it according to a Rab. Everybody agrees that if the husband is ma'arer, it's batal. If the Shliach says the Baal can't just come and be ma'arer. Everybody agrees on that. However, the question is, ad kadun, until now, we want to know a new question. This is all, until now, we're talking about clearly if he's ma'arer from when she got married. Vinny says, what if he was married before she got married and then she got married? What is it then? Do we believe the husband or do we believe the shliach? In Shemina min Hado, we should learn it from different cases. It says, we brought this in the Bavli also. Gittin, Vavam, and Beis. Somebody brought a get in front of Rabbi Shmuel. He said, where are you from? I'm from Kfar Samai. In the Bavli, we said Sisoi. You don't need Eidim, just say Shiyotzo, when he left, Rabbi Loi told him, Nebi, it's closer to Zibardi than Ak. It's in Eretz Yisrael. Because the Maisa was Yotze Behet, in other words, Sof Kosof, all he did was say, it's Yotze. What did he mean to say when he was saying that? That if the Baal is going to be ma'arer, it's batal. If you bring a get from Eretz Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael, do you have to say b'fanei nichtav? You don't. Nevertheless, because he did, it prevented the husband from being able to be ma'arer. Doesn't matter if the husband was married from before the marriage or from after the marriage or before the marriage. Just like we see within Eretz Yisrael itself that you don't have to, but nevertheless, if you do it, even though l'chatchila you don't have to. Nevertheless, if you say b'fanei nichtav, it prevents error. So to here, even if it was before she was married, that it's not like a b'diavad, it's a l'chatchila. If you say the shliach says b'fanei nichtav, the husband can no longer be married. What if the husband comes first? Maybe that's a different story.
So, but is that the halacha l'maaseh? They always say that because of that issue?
What do you mean?
We say b'fanei nichtav and b'fanei nechtam always because no, even if it's an Eretz Yisrael, so that the husband cannot be ma'arer.
Oh, do we do it now? Are you saying nowadays?
Correct.
in Eretz Yisrael to prevent any issues?
Correct.
Good question. So what's gonna be? Oh, I actually have the Shulchan Aruch here. Let me see. A lot of storm piled up on top of it, but that could be fixed.
When you say the husband, do you mean the one that wrote the get, or the one that she's divorced from, right?
Yeah, the one who divorced her.
Yeah, he can say, well, this get's not valid.
Well, he can't. Says if a shliach brings a get from place to place from Chutz La'aretz, from Eretz Yisrael to Chul, or from Chul to Eretz Yisrael, if he was there b'shas ksiva and sima, he has to say v'fan nechta v'fan nechtam, and then he'll give it to her and she'll be divorced. If the husband is ma'ar, we don't listen to the husband.
Don't listen to him. Well, yeah.
They brought a get in Eretz Yisrael, and he says v'fan nechta, even though he doesn't need to. If the husband will come b'ma'ar, we're not going to listen to him. If the shliach wasn't there, then you have to mekayim the get b'chosma. So we see clearly, it says, "Uvizman hazeh." Oh, this is the Ramah actually. Nowadays, I maybe get the filim b'bayis l'bayis b'yirachas, even from one city to one house to another house. Oh, we had this in Tosfos. You do have to say b'fan nichta b'fan nechta. Why they litnei b'zman shabal b'ir. The shliach should not give it if the husband is in the city. Okay, so nowadays he always says it. Nowadays, bisman hazeh, we always, and maybe get the feeling we buys the bias always. Okay, actually, it's a bit of an emergency. I guess we have to cut this year short. Okay, well, Mr. Hashem, continue.
Well, thank you.